Hex key, Allen wrench is a brand name, is the most common tool we use here at Tony 10 Speed. But did you know that not all hex keys are the same? Which we are going to show you which are the best and some tips on how to use them. Let's take a look. In choosing a hex key, number one rule is don't buy cheap. This particular Chinese model that sells for under $5 lacks the tolerances and much needed tight fit for most bolt heads. For a 5mm hex key, you want it as close to 5mm or slightly bigger as possible, as the bolts are oversized to fit this. As you can see, the Chinese options are clear looser, while the Japanese and some US made tools are often superior. Based on some excellent research, we prefer at Tony 10 Speed the Wera, that's with a W, from the Czech Republic due to its specifically patented design of the key edges. We can feel the edge right here that appears different, prevents damage to the hex bolt under torque. We also recommend the Bonhus hex key due to its high manufacturing standards and durability, and will serve you well. When using a hex key, insert it fully into the bolt. Be wary of the leverage when tightening the bolt. The torque outcome is very dependent on where you hold your hand, and with this 5mm hex key, it's unlikely we're going to need a lot of torque to tighten, so I'll hold it in the middle and go ahead and tighten the bolt. Pay attention to the condition of the hex keys. You want the edges to be sharp. If they become burred or rounded, this is an indication of damage, and you may round out or damage a delicate bolt that you're trying to loosen or tighten. Improper use of your hex key, or a poor quality hex key, will lead to damage, something called camming out, which is going to make it difficult to remove this bolt as compared to the normal bolt. One of the advantages of the ball end hex key is that once it's been loosened somewhat, because it has about a 25-degree flexibility, it's easy to remove the particular bolt. Or once the bolt has been started, it's easy to go ahead and begin screwing it in. However, for final tightening or loosening, use the flat end of your hex key. The ball driver, if you put it under any torque for final tightening or loosening, may damage the bolt itself. On some of the difficult bolts, like the crank bolt on this bottom bracket, we can use a piece of steel tubing inserted on the end will give me extra leverage to remove that bolt. One word of caution, only use it for some of the larger hex keys. Remember that for the small hex keys, too much torque will damage the bolt and cause it to so-called cam out. The best tool is one you can trust. If you have any comments, please forward them to me so I can pass them on to our viewers. If you find this particular video helpful, please subscribe. Safe cycling.